What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Friday? It's Friday. We've made it to another weekend. It's the divisional round of the playoffs in the NFL. We'll talk about that, but it also means that the Titans have completed all 6 of their in-person interviews for the GM hire. And based on reports from earlier in the week, it feels like they could have a new GM by the end of the weekend and maybe a press conference over there at St. Thomas Sports Park for Sam and Easton to jump into early next week, and we will see who that person could be. But there is one candidate the Titans will have to guard against, just like they did with one of Brian Callahan's top hires of his coaching staff a year ago. And we're going to talk about the potential buddy hire as general manager for one of the 6 candidates, as it does feel imminent, like the decision is coming this weekend. So, Sam, we're going to have a good conversation on this. I've got some extra nuggets to pass along, as I've had a couple nuggets throughout the week on some of these candidates from some people I know in the football world. So it's also Friday, which means ain't that good news. Ain't that good news to wrap up our week every week. So welcome in. Let's get this thing rolling.
All right. Hey, here we go. I got to get our GM Phil in really with our talks here this morning, because I think by the time the show happens on Monday morning, the Titans will have named a new general manager, Austin. I feel pretty confident about that. So it's time to get those last predictions in, get those last conversations in, and that's what we're here to do today. So going to be a good show. Before we jump into it, everybody watching, got to share the show. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the share button in the bottom right corner. Get that word out to the Facebook timeline, out to all of your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, take the YouTube link, send it to a group chat, a friend, a Titans fan, somebody who needs a little bit more information in their lives about the general manager search that the Titans are doing. And of course, as always, you can repost us and share on the Twitter X timeline as well to spread the word. That's the best way to support A to Z Sports as we kick it off on a Friday morning and get it going.
Let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Sam Valen, one of our Titans reporters for A to Z Sports.com. And we are Nashville's on-demand sports network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. 5-star Google reviews is where you should go, as well as we will have an update now on Monday. So the next morning show, we will have a Lou Man Google review update coming up on Monday. But I think our sponsors, and they're going to happen for us, and they help out all of you.
Show segment, Lou Man Google review update.
Maybe that is pretty funny. We'll need a new show segment when it comes to the peak off season, the dead of the summer. I'm sure. But Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. WilsonCountyHyundai.com, the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans, get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans, FBHP.com/ATOZ. TDOT, keeping our state beautiful, Nobody Trashes Tennessee.com, and our new friends, Bart Durham Injury Law. A crash can change your life forever. Help is just a click away at BartDurham.com. So a couple comments saying fighting the sun over there. The good thing is the sun is out after it's been like cloudy for 2 weeks. So a couple things, a super chat off the very top of the show. Noah says, can we talk about how Sam's pitch converted half the fan base to Shedeur Sanders yesterday? I was already on the train, but now people agree with him. Thank you, Sam. So yeah, you clipped it. Orlando asked you to clip it. You clipped it. You put it out there across all the platforms, and it performed pretty well. Now, I do think you had a lot of converts, but I do think there are people that are still, no Shedeur, no Sanders. You don't want that stuff. But your thoughts on your long elevator pitch yesterday?
Yeah, I think it did its job. It, got people pretty informed. Orlando says you're welcome. That is a huge thank you for sure to Orlando for being like, yo, clip that. Because
you could clip it.
I did clip it, and yeah, it's great. So thank you for the recommendation to clip. Happy to get that out there to people. I say this a lot, but I do view media and the job that we do often, Austin, as trying to be like a voice for fans sometimes and use platforms as much as possible to share messages that either I feel compelled about and passionate about or other fans do. And so, like you said, I think there were people out there who maybe were in the Shedeur Sanders camp who had been pushing for him, maybe didn't know exactly like how to break it all down that had some of the same thoughts, but then I was able to provide some numbers and context to that and get that out into the world. But we all needed it on record. We just needed it put out there ahead of the draft about exactly what the Titans are getting here, because I think this is that time of year that a lot of misconceptions about certain prospects and players can, even coaches, right? When you look at like a coaching cycle, can really start to float and get out there, and people can run with particular narratives that they either hear or the narratives that they already have stuck in their brain. So thought that was important. Happy people enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I'm curious because I like Shedeur Sanders. I think we will continue to get more and more smoke around the Deion Sanders to the Dallas Cowboys fire.
Listen, by the way, on Tuesday on A to Z Primetime, I made the official prediction that Deion was going to be the head coach of the Cowboys. Every day that goes by, I'm starting to look less and less crazy, I think.
How do you feel about that?
How do you feel about that? You feel pretty good that you started the Micah Parsons, Deion Sanders, Titans trade train.
Yeah, well, I was talking about because it was like the initial rumor of Deion came out. And one of my questions on A to Z Primetime is like, hey, is this going to happen? And most people were like, dude, no. And I was like, I can't even give you one good reason why, other than the fact that I think Jerry Jones's box office, and I've got a feeling in my gut that Deion said like that this is going to happen. And I feel like every day that we get where we don't hear rumors about, the Cowboys are bringing in this guy to interview or this guy to interview or have interest in this guy, like it starts to look a little bit more possible.
Yeah. So, side note before we dive into the potential buddy hire that could be made as Titans general manager, another note to think about with the Deion Sanders Cowboys stuff is Zach and I had a meeting earlier this week with our Dallas Cowboys beat writer and video host Mauricio Rodriguez, who is super tied into the Cowboys and does a great job. But interesting to think about this. Jerry Jones is 82 years old. Jerry Jones could be making his last head coaching hire as the decision maker for the Cowboys.
If you get it right. Yeah.
Ideally, this is his last one, right? And because if it works and you have a 5-year contract for a coach, is 87-year-old Jerry Jones firing this coach he hires now to hire another one at 88? I don't know. I mean, hopefully Stephen Jones fully takes over, and Jerry's still with us, by the way. I hope that's the case. But is he still making the decisions for the franchise at 87? I don't think that's the smartest thing in the world, but it could be his last chance. He loves Deion. Deion loves Jerry. This is maybe the only opportunity for Deion in his coaching trajectory to be right there in the Cowboys' lap. And so it's also the last Jerry Jones coaching hire if it works out. So it could be something. It's like, if not now, maybe never. And so, that's just something to think about when it comes to the Deion Sanders and the Cowboys. But the Titans have completed 6 GM in-person interviews, and this is the list of 6 in no particular order. Mike Borgonzi of the Chiefs, Bucks, John Spytek, Bears, Ian Cunningham, Colts, Ed Dodds, Bills Director of Player Personnel, Terrence Gray, and Packers VP of Player Personnel, John Eric Sullivan. So yesterday, the 2 S names, I don't know if they went in alphabetical order because it kind of feels like it, but John Spytek was Thursday early.
Dodds and Gray were the first day, I believe, and then Borgonzi and Cunningham were.
Look, you got B, C, D, and G, so it's like you got a lot of early alphabetical names there. And then you got the 2 S guys, Spytek Thursday early in the morning, first shift, and John Eric Sullivan was the last. John Eric Sullivan, the 6th and final in-person interview completed by the Titans brass. And this is what I want to get to, because I mentioned a couple nuggets that I had about a couple of these candidates where I was told, maybe it was last week. Yeah, last week I was told John Spytek, home run hire, if that was the hire by the Titans. I also was told Terrence Gray, no-brainer, as somebody from the Bills. It would be a no-brainer to fit this role. And then I reached out to a different person yesterday about John Eric Sullivan, and wanting to learn about, is there a potential, like, what's this relationship potentially with John Eric Sullivan and Chad Brinker, both of who were in Green Bay together from 2009 to 2022 until Brinker became the assistant GM with the Titans in 2023. Now is the president of football operations with the Titans and pulling the strings and leading these interviews. So I was told that these guys are very tight by somebody who was around these two for 6 years in Green Bay. They're very tight, and they frequently were workout buddies in the Green Bay Packers facility in the early morning wee hours. And Sam, you're a workout guy. You know, I like fitness. If you are early morning workout buddies with somebody for an extended period of time, that is a tight bond, right? There is a accountability factor that goes into, hey, Jim, 5 a.m., you and me, you better be there. I'll be there. If you're not there and I'm there, I'm kicking your ass, right? Like there's that type of relationship factor that goes into that of accountability. And then you're in there together doing hard work before the sun rises. And there's other conversations and tangents that you go off of where that is naturally a tight relationship, if that is how the relationship really goes. And so I thought that was an interesting nugget. John Eric Sullivan, Chad Brinker, early morning workout buddies in Green Bay. A lot of business and a lot of talks get done before the sun rises, and could be a big edge for John Eric Sullivan. Your thoughts?
Well, no, you're right. Hey, if you got a workout buddy, I don't care what time of day it is. Like, that's your boy. Like that's your guy right there. The closest I've ever been to friends in my life is when I've had friends that for extended periods of time are reliable workout partners that go to the gym with me at the exact same time, like every day. Some of my best memories of like college are college summers where I'd have a friend who was like, hey, at 10:30 a.m., we both stepped foot into the gym, not a minute before or after. And it was everyday level of consistency. Got us feeling good, got us, like in good shape over a summer. But also it was just like, we got to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
We would go work out. And then sometimes after we'd work out, we'd go grab lunch. And then after we'd grab lunch, we'd be like, God, what do you want to do now? I don't know. Do you want to go go to the driving range and hit golf balls? Do you want to go back and work out again? Like, and that's
it's a whole day. It just turns into a whole day.
And these guys are not going to the gym. They're going to the facility. They're at the Green Bay Packers facility getting lifted in the morning. And then they're like, hey, you want to hit the cafeteria? Go get some of the breakfast that's in the facility. Hey, let's go to my office. Let's go watch draft tape. That's the kind of thing that I envision here, because that's typically how workout buddies go. So yeah, this is two people who are super familiar with each other. We've spent a lot of time together, and there is a level of trust and accountability there already built into the relationship.
What's your favorite dinosaur? Velociraptor. We all know that, right? It's literally that type of connection that they've built. And so now you've had 2 years of separation, right? Chad gets his opportunity to become an assistant GM with the Titans. And 2 years later, Chad is looking for his next general manager. And of course, everybody dreams about this. You have the conversations with maybe that workout buddy in between sets. Yeah, man, when one of us makes it, one of us gets that break, we'll have to bring the other with us, and we'll do this thing together because we know our visions align, right? And so now 2 years later, Chad Brinker is looking for his guy to help him with the number 1 overall draft pick, to help him with the salary cap space, to rebuild this roster with head coach Brian Callahan, and with the opportunity they have from 3-14 to rise it from the top. Another thing too that I was thinking about with just the Packers connection, Matt LaFleur and Brian Callahan are pretty similar from like a head coach demeanor, right?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
They're chill, they're calm, but you see them getting spicy, yelling at refs on the sideline, or, I watched Matt LaFleur drop several F-bombs in a row on the sideline against the Eagles in that playoff loss on Sunday. So I'm not saying like, if John Eric Sullivan is the hire, this is very much could be used as a buddy hire, right? And I think here's what I want to lay out here. If it's John Eric Sullivan, there's a great way to sell it if you're the Titans. It's these two guys are aligned, collaboration aligned. You've talked about being aligned. They have Brian Callahan to be aligned to move forward in the correct direction. If it's a John Eric Sullivan hire, the negative is, it's his buddy, right? It's the same thing we said about Nick Holtz when Brian Callahan hired him as his OC. They went to high school together. It was a QB wide receiver high school relationship. And now they went their separate paths. They came back and now they're head coach and OC together. And you're like, is anybody else hiring Nick Holtz as their offensive coordinator in the NFL? The answer is no.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but John Eric Sullivan might be different because he's getting interviews for the Jets. He might be on that list for the Raiders. I don't know if that's official yet. And yesterday, Brian Gutekunst, the Packers GM, was asked in his season-ending press conference for the Packers, hey, what are your thoughts on John Eric Sullivan getting GM interviews? Brian Gutekunst said he will be missed, like past tense, like it's done. It's what's done is done. And that press conference was at noon on Thursday, pre-John Eric Sullivan interview with the Titans on Thursday. So it was very interesting. He will be missed from Brian Gutekunst. So, Sam, you want to jump into the question? Or you want to add anything else?
No, let's go ahead and jump into the question because I think a lot of my my thoughts and stuff will be used in my answer here.
Good. All right, so the Titans making a potential buddy hire at GM if it's John Eric Sullivan. For you guys, 3 options. Is that a big deal, small deal, or no deal? Big deal, small deal, or no deal if it's the buddy hire of John Eric Sullivan as the Titans GM. We will get to all of your opinions on that, but I'm going to put up a YouTube poll too. But first, going to tell you guys about TDOT. TDOT's out there doing the good work. They're doing the hard work, and that's by keeping our state safe, keeping our state beautiful when it comes to our highways, interstates, and roadways, by trying to find a solution to end littering across our state. And that's by going to their campaign's website, NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. That's NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. That's where you can learn about how you, your family, your kids can jump into volunteer opportunities to help clean up our state and keep your community clean by joining local cleanups that are already organized. If you're interested in creating your own cleanup with a group that you're involved with, you can do that at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. Or maybe you just want to help out from afar. You can donate. You can also take a litter quiz, answer questions, and save money on tickets to future events in the area. All of these things are possible at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. That is NobodyTrashesTennessee.com.
BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. My bad.
Yeah.
I gave out a loser of it, not just a pick that didn't hit, an absolute stinking loser of a pick yesterday. That's on me. I'm going to have to regroup. I'm going to have to hit the film. I'm going to have to I'm back to the drawing board essentially. So Memphis -6.5 yesterday. Total loser. If you were signing up with BetMGM with the bonus code ATOZ Sports before your first bet and you backed me, good news for you is that you got the money back in the form of a bonus bet, and that's what you can still do on BetMGM, up to $1,500 with the sportsbook born in Vegas. That's on me, guys. I'm gonna next time I will be better with a better pick on BetMGM, but I'm taking a self-pres break here.
I will say, I wrote it yesterday. I texted you about it saying that I wrote it. I feel like last summer when you were giving out all these no-run first-inning winners in a row, and then when I jumped on board, the streak broke. So maybe it's my fault too. Maybe I deserve a sliver of this blame pie. If you toss a bet out and I write it, it's going to fail. If I stay away, it might hit. So
what you need to do is just tail it and then not tell me or anybody that you tailed it. And then afterwards.
Yeah. Good point. All right. So Sam's going to see if he can make that up, and we'll see if I tail it or if I write it to prove that concept correct. Okay. The Titans making a potential, quote, buddy hire at GM if it is John Eric Sullivan. Is that a big deal, small deal, or no deal? Sam, I'll send you the chat. A lot of comments are flying in here. I'm about to put up a YouTube poll so we can get some organized data on this. What are you saying? Big deal, small deal, no deal?
All right, we got a big deal coming in from Just Smash, a no deal from IR Hoshi. Big deal from Eric. No deal from Curtis, as it was expected. Big deal, small deal, no deal, small deal, big deal, small deal. Small deal from Dylan and Orlando. Lou comes in with a no deal. Rashid says small deal. Sean is small. Jay says big, says it telegraphs all of Brinker's plans. Jake says they're all buddy hires in the NFL. True to some degree, but not entirely true. Relationships very key, but you see
huge.
guys hire off the wall at times. Like Rand Carthon hiring Brian Callahan as the head coach was not a buddy hire whatsoever. It was two guys that didn't know each other that got along well. And
but you know what worked as I don't know if this counts as a buddy hire, but Denard Wilson as the Titans defensive coordinator, I think was a good hire. And that was a Rand Carthon connection, right? So connections and relationships all happen. But buddy hires and relationship hires, I think, are different.
Yeah.
Like Nick Holtz, like
buddy
hire, right? Like that is a clear cut, dry.
It's different when it's, hey, I have familiarity with this guy. I've worked with him before. And like, this is my dude. Like, this is my number one, a personal friend. There's kind of a difference there. Big deal if Brinker knows this guy from Hassani. Nobody hires. Small deal. Big deal because of yes man mentality. No deal, Howie, or no deal, Joe Manganiello. Shout out Deal or No Deal Island. Good show if you were not watching it.
I've not seen that one yet.
It's great.
I did like the original. The OG Deal or No Deal was fantastic.
This one's better.
Well, yeah, because it's like a mix of like, is it literally a mix of Survivor and Deal or No Deal?
Kind of, but but I mean, there's no real like voting concept to like the fact that you can't get voted out.
It's just you have the briefcase situation.
But there is a social strategy dynamic while they're living on an island and playing Deal or No Deal. It sounds absurd, but it's actually a little bit simpler.
It's just a reality show smoothie is what this is.
Yeah, I don't know, but like so many reality shows, we'll talk probably traders.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. That good news box.
Yeah, no, so like so many reality shows now are really trying to like get that Survivor formula. Everybody's chasing Survivor. They want to find that thing that is just going to be number one forever, and none of them can perfect it. People have gotten close. People have gotten and like created some really good things along the way. Deal or No Deal Island was one that I first saw it and I was like,
dumb.
Come on. Like, what are we doing here even? And I started watching it for the first time last month. And I was kind of like, hold on a minute. Hold on. This was entertaining. All right. Anyways, back to John Eric Sullivan. We've got pretty much split results. Is there a YouTube poll out there?
Oh my God. The YouTube poll could not be more perfect, Sam. Like normally, like we're like, oh, A versus B. And how close to 50-50 is this going to be, right? This is three options. So like how close is 33% going to be? Literally 33, 33, 33 right now. Like, and now it's jumped. And then it's 33, 33, 35, 32, 32, 36. Like this is beautiful. Like this could not be a more perfect answer or question and what we are getting the data for. You guys are as split equally as you can be to big deal, small deal, or no deal of this buddy hire thought. So do you want to start? Because I kind of laid a lot out there. So I'm going to reset for people that maybe jumped in late. But again, we're all doing our due diligence, trying to find extra information about all six of these GM candidates. Last week, I was told home run. John Spytek would be a home run out of Tampa. I think Terrence Gray I was told no brainer out of Buffalo. And yesterday I learned from a different person that knows John Eric Sullivan and Chad Brinker. These guys are like workout buddies, early morning Packers workout buddies, super tight. Like super tight was the word. And these guys worked together from 09 to 22. That's 13, 14 years of working in the same organization together, growing up from area scouts all the way up to the positions that they've held recently. So big deal, small deal, no deal, Sam, for you. If this is a buddy hire by the Titans, if John Eric Sullivan is the guy.
It's a big deal but not for the reason that you think it is. It is a
Okay.
big deal for every good, positive reason under the sun. It is a big deal, and I love every bit of it. I think the relationship between Chad Brinker and John Eric Sullivan is a positive for the Titans. I think the fact that they're so close, that they are very good friends, that they are old workout buddies from Green Bay that spent 13 years working together with the organization, all of that is a plus. Austin, the one thing that I've been asking for, that I've been banging the drum for, is alignment, is collaboration, but real collaboration, a real clear power structure, clarity, direction for the organization. Well, we now have a very clear picture of the fact that Chad Brinker is going to be the head honcho. He's going to be the guy calling the shots. What we don't have is figuring out what exactly the general manager's role is going to be and how it's going to align with the vision that Chad Brinker might have for this team. We know that this GM is supposed to be a football guy, all football all the time, a super scout that's boots on the ground, hitting the road, evaluating players, evaluating talent, bringing that data back to Chad so that Chad can run his analytics and do his cap stuff and whatever, all the office work that is needed from a front office, and they can run an organization and build it in hopefully their image. I want accountability to both the president of football operations and the general manager if things don't go well. I don't want this seesaw of a power struggle of the GM really wants the say in who's getting drafted, but Chad Brinker comes over the top of them. And now if things go poorly, the GM's going to blame Chad and Chad's going to blame the GM, and Amy's going to have to make another cutthroat decision without being able to clean house. And the fact that these two guys are so familiar with one another, that they're friends, that they have a really strong relationship, gives me confidence that there will be more collaboration and unity and alignment within the front office than there has been in 3, 4, 5 years. That this will be one vision. Like you said, if Chad Brinker and John Eric Sullivan used to talk about the fact of like, hey, how we want to run an organization someday, if we get a chance to work together in the future, they know each other's habits as far as scouting. If Chad Brinker makes that decision then after interviewing him of this is a guy that I'm going to go to because I have familiarity with him and I know him, I have a lot more confidence all of a sudden that the Titans are pretty clear in their direction. So I think it's a big deal, but I love it. And I think John Eric Sullivan is one of my 2 favorite candidates, potentially my favorite candidate, maybe not in resume, but the relationship with Brinker really bumps him up to me to be like somebody who I would be excited about as the Titans' next GM. And I think would be my predicted candidate as well.
Okay. So I think I actually, for all the reasons that you said big deal, I'm actually going to say no deal, because I think I can make the case that if John Eric Sullivan is the hire, that this is not a buddy hire and is the right hire, because Brian Gutekunst, who is the Packers GM, said yesterday, Eric Edholm of NFL.com tweeted this out, the quote of, hey, if your guy, John Eric Sullivan's getting GM interviews, yeah, he'll be missed, right? It's not like, again, like I keep using this example, not because I'm taking a personal shot at Brian Callahan and Nick Holtz, but because we all understand it's very clear. There was not another NFL organization that was going to hire Nick Holtz as their straight up offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He was a pass game coordinator with the Jags for a year, after going to UNLV for a couple of years, after being with the Raiders organization and climbing that ladder. He wasn't nobody was going to elevate Nick Holtz to that position last offseason, maybe a year or 2 away. I think the Titans are hiring a GM that might be a year or 2 earlier than the majority of GM candidates, right? We've talked about that a lot. But John Eric Sullivan is talking to the Jets. I think the Raiders have rumored to have him on their list of people they want to talk to. So this is not the Nick Holtz of GM candidates. This is a guy that other NFL teams are looking at as well, who has been a part of the Packers organization. And the Packers organization has been very successful in such an unconventional way. They don't have an owner, right? Like let's remember like how the Packers are set up compared to everybody else. Like it is a group owned organization, right? It's weird.
Yeah.
They have a president that helps them run, but like they have like, Braden Gall, our buddy's a part owner of the Green Bay Packers because his family has been for, decades. That's just how that works. It's kind of like college boosters. So they don't have just like the ultra cash flow like the rich owners in the NFL. And I don't even know if they have the ultra cash flow like Amy Adams Strunk, who's not a rich owner according to NFL standards. So they have to do things a different way by literally scouting, developing, drafting well, evaluating the right way. The Oakland A's Moneyball style, which is what Chad Brinker's talked about, which John Eric Sullivan's been doing for 14 years.
The Packers are like organizations hit good stretches all the time. When you just get a couple things right, you can luck into a really good stretch of 5 to 7 years of being an NFL contender. The Green Bay Packers are going on 30 years of being an NFL contender pretty much every year, like with occasional downswings because of a quarterback injury or whatever. Their ability to just restock a roster to replenish at quarterback and like Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back helps that for sure. But it has really been impressive what that organization has done over the last 30 years, just always in it. You turned your roster over 10 times and, every time you manage to come out with a competitive team. So it's an organization that has success that's built on that evaluation that you mentioned, that, that Moneyball sort of process. Mm-hmm. They've never been an organization especially in the time that Brinker and John Eric Sullivan were there, which was like the Aaron Rodgers era, that, spent a ton of money on free agent wide receivers and weapons for Aaron Rodgers. That became such a headline that almost got Brian Gutekunst fired when Aaron Rodgers was rebelling against the front office. And guess what the Packers did? They stuck with their player evaluation. Yeah. They stuck with their front office. They took a bunch of 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round draft picks and now have Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, and they assembled like a really impressive character of
Reed, Dobbs, like everybody that got hurt last weekend in Philly, like,
Yeah, I mean, they have legitimate weapons and a legitimate team now, and they built it. They, found a great head coach in Matt LaFleur after another very good head coach in Mike McCarthy, good head coach. I mean, it's an impressive organization. So not only are you pulling now 2 guys who, cut their chops? No,
cut their teeth.
Cut their teeth. There it is. Yeah, I was losing it. 2 guys that cut their teeth in Green Bay for a great organization, but 2 guys who I would have a lot of faith in, have a very aligned vision for the future of this team. And if you're a Titans fan right now, to me, that's all you can ask for. Like, given where the Titans are, given all the rumors that we've heard, all the unrest and potential dysfunction that is out there, having Chad Brinker bring in somebody from a good organization in the Packers that he's a really strong relationship with, and trusting that these 2 guys are going to work in lockstep with one another, that's about as good as you can get to make the right hire.
Yep. Another thing too. So I think this next point is a positive and simultaneously could be a negative for John Eric Sullivan. His entire professional career, he has been with the Green Bay Packers. It's 2003 to current. And it's training camp intern in 2003. Then 4 seasons as a football operations department employee. Then he was a regional scout for multiple regions for 8 years. Then he was the director of college scouting, co-director of player personnel, and then has been the vice president of player personnel the last 3 seasons. That is literally his entire adult life after being a graduate assistant in college at Gardner-Webb, where he finished his college playing career as a wide receiver. So that is interesting. You've only seen it done one way.
Yeah.
That could be a negative, but the positive is you've seen the Packers stay relevant for your entire professional life, and he has been through not once, but twice of the MVP caliber quarterback, drafted quarterback late in the first round, sit that quarterback behind the MVP caliber quarterback, and there's tension there. But at the end, it works out, and the MVP guy goes to the Jets. He has literally seen that movie 2 times.
I
with
mean,
Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love.
The amount of time, like the amount of stuff that John Eric Sullivan has seen and either dealt with himself or watched the front office put out, like the amount of little fires that he has seen in his time in Green Bay. I mean, Packers wins by season. John Eric Sullivan came in around 2009-ish, or I guess that's
John Eric Sullivan came there 03.
03, but then he was also
intern.
so I mean 03 they were in the playoffs going 10-6.
Yeah, Brett Favre years. 2009
is when him and Brinker started to have overlap in Green Bay.
Yes.
11 wins, 10 wins, 15 wins, 11 wins, 8 wins, 12 wins, 10 wins, 10 wins. 2 down years of 7 wins and 6 wins, flipped around to 13 wins, 13 wins, 13 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, 11 wins.
And literally the down years were like Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone.
12 playoff appearances, a Super Bowl title, multiple playoff wins with, 2 different quarterbacks, the changing of the guard between the Rodgers and Love situation. There has been a lot, the changing of head coaches from McCarthy to LaFleur. So while, yes, there could be a downside of, look, you've only seen it done one way, there is the positive of you've also, it's not like you're just coming from a fountain of success of like somebody who won a bunch of Super Bowls with the best possible quarterback and then, is getting dropped in the deep end and realizes it's not always that pretty.
Yep, without a doubt. All right, so football guy is another thing to that has been described as what the Titans are wanting in this GM. I've got another fun nugget that is just that I found, not from somebody told me, just I discovered it via Google, that I think is really interesting about John Eric Sullivan and football guy. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I also do want our official predictions. Now that, Sam, you said it up top of the show, by the next morning show, Monday, you think we're going to know the person. You think the hire will be announced by Monday morning at 8 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
Now, the press conference could be Monday or Tuesday. Monday is a holiday, so we'll find out what that schedule looks like. But I'm going to give you my nugget, and also we want your predictions. Who will the next Titans GM be? Who will the next Titans GM be? We've been talking for 30-plus minutes about John Eric Sullivan. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute, that's where you should turn for all of your injury needs. Injuries happen in life just like in football, and we all need somebody that we know and trust can help us out through that. When you get hurt, it sucks. It disrupts your life. You don't want to have that continue to disrupt you for too long and be a major inconvenience. So go book an appointment to get it checked out online, boneandjointtn.org. I've been there for 2 different injuries the last 3-ish years, and I've been literally in and out, wait time and clinic and leaving on average of like 35 minutes over like 4 different visits. That's super efficient, super great, and not a burden on me or my schedule at all, and they help me get healthy again. boneandjointtn.org in Franklin. Once again, boneandjointtn.org.
Today's show powered by BetMGM. It's the sportsbook born in Vegas. Get up to $1,500 back in the form of a bonus bet if you use the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you first sign up. That's the benefit of being a new user on BetMGM, because with the sportsbook born in Vegas, you place a bet, and whatever your first bet wager amount is goes back into your account in the form of a bonus bet for a second chance to win big if your first bet misses. So with the NFL playoffs coming around the corner here, the national championship game coming up, Super Bowl is now within view, I guess, just a few weeks away.
Yeah.
So start getting your futures bets in there. I don't know. Go to BetMGM, place it, use that bonus code ATOZ Sports for up to $1,500 back.
All right, Sam, I will ask everybody and have you go read everybody's prediction on who we think the Titans will eventually hire with our prediction here. Another nugget that doesn't really mean anything, but I just think it's fun. I think it tells you a little bit about John Eric Sullivan, football guy, right? Football through and through. He was a wide receiver recruit, went to South Carolina in the late 90s, ended up leaving there to go to Gardner-Webb, and then started his coaching / executive career. His wife, Jennifer, is the daughter of longtime college and NFL coach Pete Hainer. Pete Hainer was a college and NFL coach from 1975 through 2021, ending his last couple of decades with the Arizona Cardinals, Chicago Bears, Niners, Panthers, and the Washington football team. John Eric Sullivan's father, Jerry Sullivan, is also a former coach from 1971 to 2021 in college and the NFL. Jerry Sullivan, the wide receivers coach for the San Francisco 49ers from 2005 to 2010. Pete Hainer, John Eric Sullivan's father-in-law, was the tight ends coach for the Niners from 2005 to 2010.
Wow.
I think that's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, football family through and
Football
through. Like,
family.
you could not be more of a football family than that. So, all right, on to predictions. Who is the chat predicting will be the Titans GM by announcement time? We think pre-Monday morning.
Obviously, Sullivan says top tier. We've got a Borgonzi as the smart choice on the Sullivan train, and I do think we have kind of got people on board here. We got a lot of John Eric Sullivan requests here. Jay thinks Borgonzi will get a job somewhere else. Sullivan was made for this. Cunningham, sneaky from Titans. Kyle, Sullivan or Terrence Gray or Mike Borgonzi.
You can't just pick 50% of the candidates to be your prediction.
You got a 50% chance of being right. So, yeah, I mean, I think John Eric Sullivan is very likely. This is my official prediction. I've kind of been pretty clear from the start. I think Borgonzi, Cunningham, a bit unrealistic, even Spytek to a degree. To me, not super realistic, just because I don't know if this is the right job and the right fit and the right job that they would have a ton of interest in. And for guys that feel like shoo-ins around the league, guys that are getting interviews, like I think Mike Borgonzi is going to get a job in this cycle for sure. I think John Spytek could get a job in this cycle. So
that's the other two jobs, right?
Somebody's going to get a Jets job. Somebody's going to get the Raiders job. I think Mike Borgonzi is for sure going to get one of them. And I think both jobs would be more attractive to him in his current situation than the Titans job would. But this feels specifically catered and tailored to a John Eric Sullivan, who is a contender around the league, but, has a tie here that I think gives him a leg up.
So I think the top three are Spytek, Borgonzi, and Sullivan.
Yeah.
I think here's something that I'm interested in. If it's not John Eric Sullivan, I think all the things we just talked about John Eric Sullivan and Chad Brinker for the last 40 minutes, does that make you feel even more confident in the process they went through?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to, right? I mean, like, the fact that you interviewed him, brought him back for a second interview. Bro, well, you interviewed him initially. You brought him back for a second interview. You sat down with, I guess maybe not, right? Maybe there's like Amy blocked it or something like that. There could be whatever reason. I don't think that would happen though. So the fact that you interviewed him, that you brought him back in for a second interview, if you then chose to go off the board and hire somebody else, it would make me a little bit surprised and astounded that Brinker would not hire his buddy. And so he must feel really, really confident in the other person that he's going to, unless John Eric Sullivan wants to take the Jets job or something like that. Which maybe he does, but I think this is probably the better fit for him.
Yeah, Swan says you just picked three people like him. No, Swan, I said I didn't. That wasn't my prediction. I said that was who I thought were the top three candidates, not my prediction. So I think that's very different. Now Steven comes in with what kind of Sam's saying. He says, let's face it, John Eric Sullivan will be Titans GM, Spytek will be the Raiders, and Borgonzi with the Jets. That does feel like a very natural landing of the dominoes there. Spytek and Tom Brady are tight. Borgonzi just feels like he deserves to be in New Jersey / New York. And then
they seem pretty like the most aggressive towards Borgonzi. I think he's probably the 1-2 that's going to want the most say in his head coach. And I think the Jets are the job that would give him the most say in his head coach. I could see Matt Nagy, the Chiefs offensive coordinator, former Bears head coach, who interviewed for the Jets head coaching job. I could see Matt Nagy being maybe an easy line to draw there if the Jets are looking for a new head coach. So if I had to make a prediction right now, that might be where I go, is that it'll be Mike Borgonzi with Matt Nagy both going to the Jets.
I think the Titans like Spytek a lot too. And I think I don't know if this means anything of the last two guys to interview, the whole, do you let them out of the building thing? Because here's what I feel confident saying this, that the Raiders were late to firing Tom Telesco as their GM, which delayed their process to start interviewing GM candidates. Spytek, I know, was in town Wednesday night, interviewed Thursday with the Titans. The Raiders, I believe, pushed that interview up to talk to Spytek like today for the first time. And so if the Titans think Spytek's the best one, he hasn't talked to the Raiders yet until today. What does that timeline look like over Spytek wanting to wait to hear it out from the Raiders first and his buddy Tom Brady? It's going to be very interesting there. So your prediction is John Eric Sullivan. I feel like that's the odds-on favorite, is John Eric Sullivan, for everything we've discussed. For the sake of just going a different direction and to think about a different candidate, I feel like it's Borgonzi if it's not Sullivan.
Wow. Okay. I don't think it'll be Borgonzi at all.
Really?
Yeah, I have like a lot of confidence that it won't be.
Oh.
Maybe I'm like just dead wrong, pie on my face, but I just feel like there's a lot of momentum for Borgonzi in other places, and there's less momentum for him here. I think of all the candidates on the board, he is the one with the most leverage as far as where he's at in his career. I think he's the most shoe-in to be a GM. I think he's probably the farthest removed from active boots on the ground scouting, and is probably more of an office guy than some of these other candidates. I think control is something that will be more important to him than some of these other guys as well. It would surprise me. It would certainly surprise me.
Okay. Jake brings up a good comment. If it's not Sullivan, it'll actually be Ian Cunningham.
I think Ian Cunningham's in the same boat
as Borgonzi.
Ian Cunningham loves Chicago, loves Ryan Poles. I don't think he leaves for an organization that won't give him control of the roster.
Okay. I think the thing that with Ian Cunningham is the second process that Amy Adams Strunk has talked to Ian Cunningham. I think that is an advantage for him in the eyes of Amy.
Possibly.
So I got a couple comments I want to get to, and then we're going to talk.
I'll if it's Ian Cunningham, I think it's Amy making the hire, not Brinker. And if, which, I might have some reservations about. So.
Yeah, but you like Ian Cunningham.
I do like Ian Cunningham. I think it would be a good hire, but I would have reservations about then the power structure again, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because now we've got Amy hiring a new GM that she likes a lot, and maybe it's not the person that Chad would have preferred.
Okay. I can buy that. Okay. So we'll find out maybe over the weekend. Keep your head on a swivel, everybody. A couple comments I want to get to about the Titans, and then we'll dive into some NFL playoff discussion. But a couple of you guys have brought up some interesting notes through our conversation. Farm Bureau Health Plans is where you should turn for all of your health coverage needs. It's a new year. You can get a new plan, a new look on your health coverage outlook for you, your family, whatever your situation may be. And Farm Bureau Health Plans is just an email, a call, a website click away to help you out with that. Plan on them for health, dental, vision, fbhp.com/ATOZ. They've served Tennesseans for 78 years, and they can serve you next with whatever your health coverage needs are at Farm Bureau Health Plans, fbhp.com/ATOZ.
BetMGM, it's the sportsbook born in Vegas. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with BetMGM. Get up to $1,500 back in the form of a bonus bet. If your first bet misses, bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up. And if your first bet loses, second chance to win big. Ooh, excuse me. That's why BetMGM is the sportsbook born in Vegas. I got the hiccups.
Yeah, there you go. William says, if John Eric Sullivan gets hired, based on the Packers' philosophy, he's predicting the Titans will not trade back. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that affects that one bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What is that philosophy?
Draft and develop and retain.
Draft quarterbacks? I don't know.
But they've drafted. Do you remember the number overall pick that Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love were drafted?
Yeah, they were not number one picks.
24 and 27.
Back in the first round.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that if anything, it might make it slightly more likely they trade back. But I think, they should have everything on the table. So I overall, I disagree with Williams' thought there.
I guess in argument, maybe this is what Williams getting at. I'm not sure. But you could make the argument that the Packers are used to finding a lot of talent at premium positions in rounds 2, 3, and 4. And so if that is the case, maybe somebody like John Eric Sullivan feels better about his ability to address right tackle or wide receiver in day 2 or day 3 of the draft and feels less of a need to trade down for a haul of early picks to kind of overhaul this roster if you can get the premium talent at 1-1.
Yeah, but how do you get more round 2, round 3 picks?
Fair, right? Yeah, I mean, you could make that argument probably both ways. So
yeah, absolutely. Trey says, talking about NFL owners, they're all rich. Amy can't build it any bigger because she doesn't know what she's doing. Look, yes, NFL owners are all rich, but they're not all equally rich. Like there is a massive difference between Stan Kroenke and Amy Adams Strunk. That difference is like $4 billion.
Yes.
Yes. I saw this. What's the comedian's name? I forget his name. The guy who does the show with Bobby Lee.
Santino.
Yeah. He said, do you know how many seconds or how many days it takes to get to 1 million seconds?
Oh man, I don't know.
11 days. 11 days to get to 1 million seconds. What's the difference in 1 million and 1 billion? Because I just said Stan Kroenke is 4 billion bigger than Amy, right? The difference in
11,000 days, which is about
30 years.
Yeah.
That's the difference. The difference in 1 million seconds and 1 billion seconds is 11 days to 30 years. So, yes, they're all rich, but there's a big difference in that. So I thought that was interesting overall. So how about that for some math? 31 years. Yeah, look, people knew it. Some people knew it right there in the chat. 11 and 31. Swan was on that one.
Little trivia.
Yeah. So you guys remember that. Use it at your next party. Oh, okay, Sam. Who's the MVP of the NFL? That's where I want us to go next because we've got Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson on Sunday night.
Yeah.
The bookend of the divisional wild card round. Josh Allen or Lamar? Sam, I'll let you take it away. This was something you wanted to talk through.
All right. Well, yeah, we got to talk about it this week because I don't want this weekend to jade our feelings about this. I don't want to get it confused. I don't want to look at the result of a playoff game. And we have to remember, this is a regular season award. Who will win it? Lamar Jackson's going to win it. Who should win it? Josh Allen should win it. Josh Allen is the most valuable player. I don't know if it's particularly close. Which is, I know Lamar's numbers are up there and have gone up throughout the back end of the year. He's really started to pad those stats to look really, really good. Josh Allen should win this award. There is nobody in the league that does more with less. Credit to Dan Orlovsky for all of the numbers that he went and tracked down regarding this. Buffalo's got 2 Pro Bowlers. The Ravens have 9. It's a significantly worse roster in Buffalo that was elevated to a better record. It's a worse defense in Buffalo that was elevated to a better record with a really high-performing offense. They do not have a 1,000-yard running back. They do not have a 1,000-yard wide receiver. Baltimore's got a 1,000-yard wide receiver and a damn near 2,000-yard running back.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen has been able to elevate them to another level to beat Kansas City, to beat Detroit, to become the number 2 seed in the AFC. And that is just the result of exceptional play from the quarterback position. We talk about, okay, well, look at Lamar's interceptions that he's thrown. He's only thrown 4 interceptions, but Lamar's turned the ball over more than Josh Allen has this year. If you want to look at fumbles, he's turned the ball over more. So while the interception number might be low, it doesn't tell the full story on who's protecting the ball. I just think most valuable player is not best statistics. If it was best statistics, we would, punch in QBR and have that tell us who the best player was every year. We try and associate value, players' value to his team, who elevates their team to the next level. I don't think there is anybody in this league doing it like Josh Allen right now. So,
yeah,
I feel a ton of conviction about that. What he has done this year, if you've watched Buffalo Bills games, I've kind of just happened to end up, I feel like I bet on Bills games a lot. So I've ended up watching like a lot of Bills highlights and Bills games back. He's unbelievable. He is unbelievable. The stuff that he does, despite the fact that his offensive line has not been great at pass protection pretty much all year, despite the fact that has like 8 different wide receivers that he's throwing the ball to, and they tend to drop the football a lot of the time. The fact that, that run game hasn't always been super dominant. It really is. Why is Joe Burrow not in the discussion? He could be. He should be. I think in terms of adding value to your team, Joe Burrow is definitely up there, but he didn't elevate his team to the 2 seed in the league like Josh Allen did. And that to me is
I think
that's end of story.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at if you do want to look at counting stats, I think touchdowns and turnovers are the way to look. Yards are yards, right?
Also, the counting stat comparison.
I'm gonna get to that. Like, it's not that like Lamar Jackson has 45 total touchdowns, 41 passing, but Josh Allen has 40 total touchdowns because he's got 12 rushing touchdowns and 20.
And Josh Allen sat out the last week. Lamar did not.
Right, and like Josh Allen put his team in a position to not have to play in the last week of the season. Now, outside of starting the game to keep his streak going, but I do when you're looking at the James Cook and Ray Davis, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and then Mac Hollins, and then Amari Cooper for the second half of the year. And Amari Cooper only had 20 catches over 8 games, and a lot of that was against the Titans. And then you look at what Lamar Jackson has from his, working group. Derrick Henry, 1,900 yards and 16 touchdowns doing Derrick Henry things. Now, Lamar's got 900 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns too. But Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, first round pick. And then Nelson Aguilar, I think was actually maybe a former first round pick, as like wide receivers only. They both got really good tight ends. But I'm with you. I think this is Josh Allen's turn to get MVP.
Lamar's I don't care about turns even. Bengals are a significantly worse team than the Baltimore Ravens. Then why did they win more games?
No, I agree with you. I
know. I'm just saying, like, turn doesn't matter to me. I don't necessarily believe that we should just be handing out MVPs because one person hasn't gotten it and another person has. I think it's a pretty objective award, but I think objectively Josh Allen is more deserving.
I mean, I agree, but and Jake says his turn, that's stupid. That's not I was literally making the case for Josh Allen regardless. And yeah, Lamar's won 2 MVPs and he's still not good enough this season or valuable as valuable as Josh Allen has been to the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, what's the argument? So the chat disagrees with us pretty heavily. What's the argument for Lamar Jackson outside of the counting stats?
That's it. No, the counting stats are the reason.
But who cares about counting stats?
No, I'm just like, if you're asking the question,
No,
what's
I know,
the case
but
for Lamar?
so
That's it.
What are we? But I'm asking the chat right now. What's the argument for for Lamar Jackson? He's got a much better team. He has played better this year. No, he has not.
I mean, they've both had incredible seasons.
Hey, Lamar has not played better this year by really any margin.
Better than Allen?
Are almost identical if Josh Allen plays the final week of the season.
Yeah. Now Lamar's got over 5,000 total yards.
Here, we can also do.
Look. I mean, if the other didn't exist,
snaps.
then
Let me pull up their snaps because Lamar also has way more snaps played.
Okay. Again, my point is they're both having MVP worthy seasons. But I think Josh Allen is the more valuable player this season.
The Bills were supposed to be like rebuilding this year.
Yes, everybody was like, oh, the Bills are going to miss the playoffs. Watch out. Jets, Dolphins, they're going to make the playoffs. Bills are going to get left out of the playoffs. The Ravens were like Super Bowl or bust going into the year.
Josh Allen has played over 100 less snaps than Lamar Jackson on offense this year, by the way.
Which is mostly, that's a
over. That's a game and 3 quarters.
A game and a half-ish, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, we're talking counting stats, but one of those guys sat because his team didn't need him because he won a ton of games. The other guy's team did need to try and lock up the division in week 18, so he played and he padded his stat.
How many total passing and rushing yards would Josh Allen have in a game and a half?
Hang on. The Bills are in a crappy division. The Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the Detroit Lions. They beat your favorite team. Sorry. They beat everybody. They beat the best teams. Division doesn't matter when you also are beating the best teams in the league. Lamar's wide receivers are known for bad hands. Lamar has better wide receivers than Josh Allen. Let's see. That's because they score less. The Buffalo Bills offense was better than the Baltimore Ravens offense this year. So still waiting. Still waiting for an argument for Lamar that makes sense.
So if you're looking at the counting stats, and let's just say they play equal offensive snaps, then Lamar Jackson might have 200 or less more yards passing and rushing than Josh Allen. Like based on snaps played, right?
Yeah.
So, which is not that much of a difference. That's the difference in the Titans giving up a 45-yard punt return and Josh Allen scoring a touchdown and Lamar driving the whole field on that one possession. That's a quarter of those 200 yards. So again, I do think both are having MVP level seasons, but in my opinion, based on the Bills situation compared to the Ravens situation, Josh Allen should be the MVP this year.
I agree. I feel really, really passionately about it, like really strongly about it. I hate the whole counting stats type of thing. Like you didn't watch the games. And I was kind of planning to root for the Ravens this year because I was like trying to cash in on my Derrick Henry take from before the season and get Derrick Henry into the Super Bowl. But I would love to see Josh Allen go to work. I think it's going to be an awesome game. Like I'm stoked for this game. I will say all love to my fiance, but not a bad week for her to be going on vacation out of town. Not a bad weekend because I'm actually going to be able to
just get
glued to
ordering delivery food and just locking in.
I will say the NFL Can we make an accept? Can we announce the MVP before kickoff?
No.
Like, we should. Like, I hate that because, right, we're going to get like, I don't know, somebody's going to win the MVP. It'll probably be Lamar, right? But like,
but the Bills will win this game. And
the
then
Bills will win this game. Like, so what? Josh Allen puts up 5 touchdowns, dominates Lamar, wins this game, and then they're going to be like, MVP is Lamar. And everybody's going to be like, well,
but
I'm like,
and Josh Allen playing the Super Bowl like in 3 days.
Well, right. But I also want this to be like a revenge game for somebody. So I think we should announce the MVP, and then whoever wins the MVP, like, you already know they're going to lose this game because the other quarterback is going to be like, just dialed in.
Okay. Let's get to some more divisional playoff game takes because I think there's a lot to go around here. But I want to tell you guys about our friends at Bart Durham Injury Law. Look, a crash can change your life forever. Help is only a click away at bartdurham.com. Your big truck wreck is Bart Durham's fight for justice. Bart Durham Injury Law has done so much for the Nashville community since they began business in 1975, previously run by Bart Durham, who passed away back in April. But Blair Durham is carrying the flag, and Blair Durham and his team do so much behind the scenes in the Nashville market. We'll talk more about that as we get deeper into 2025. But they've got their fingerprints helping out a lot of people, and it's beyond just your injury, your wreck that happens to you to bail you out of a tough spot. But the Bart Durham Injury Law, they're right there for you, just a click away. You can chat, you can click, you can call right there, bartdurham.com.
Today's show powered by BetMGM. Let's do something.
You got something ready to go right now?
No.
Is on the fly?
Well, no, because we're talking smack. Chat's feeling a little lippy today. Chat's feeling all good because it's a Friday. Everybody's feeling like they can. So I'm going in right now. Going in on my my BetMGM app. Let's see. NFL. Let's see. Ravens at Bills. Bills are plus 1.5. Ravens are minus 1.5. I'm going to be betting on the Buffalo Bills minus 100, minus 104, and placing a large wager on the Buffalo Bills. Large wager
at minus 1.5.
Yeah, 5 units on the Bills. Just
5 units.
I mean, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna put my money.
Is this what I tail, or is this what I stay away from?
No, stay away. You stay away, you sicko. You go. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but don't tell me about it. Okay, Chat's feeling lippy, so okay, I'll put my money where my mouth is. So let's go. I'll lick my wounds if Lamar takes him to town. So,
all right, here's what I want to ask. I want to ask, what home playoff team is most likely to lose this weekend? What home team is most likely to lose? You got Chiefs, who are 8.5-point favorites against the Texans. Yeah. Lions, 9.5-point favorites against the Commanders. Eagles, 6.5-point favorites at home versus the Rams. And then I'm actually seeing the Ravens -1.
Yeah, right, that's now. Ravens -1.
Okay.
Oh, it's -1? I saw -1.5.
So maybe, yeah. But so right now, like the Buffalo Bills technically pick them, whatever. So which home playoff game do you think is most likely to lose? Because you are all about the Bills, so that can't be your answer here, even though the betting odds will say the Bills are.
Oh, I mean, I think the Bills are the most likely to lose.
But you just win 5 units on that, not happen.
True. I think the Bills are going to win, but I think that if there's one game I'm less confident, I feel more confident that the Chiefs are going to beat the Texans than the Bills are going to win. But I'm also not getting, even money on, I'm not going to bet out 5 units on a -510 Detroit Lions money line bet either. So I'm taking my pick 'em to try and.
So I am nervous about the Eagles. I think the Rams.
I think you should be. I mean, I
think the Rams are playing with that. We're taking a region on our back energy with all the fires that are happening in Southern California? Yeah, no, I do. I like they smoked. They went through so much stuff to have to move all that entire game to Arizona during the fires and smoke the Vikings. No pun intended. But and then Jalen Hurts is not playing great. The Eagles haven't look, they got by because the Packers are all banged up and the Eagles defense is phenomenal, right? But like the Rams are playing with a we're playing for something bigger than ourselves type energy right now. And that is a real thing, in my opinion.
Well, I would agree. The Rams defense is playing unbelievable. They have given up. They kind of benched some people in the last week. They didn't need that game against the Seahawks. Last 3 games before that, 9-9-6. They gave up 9 against the Minnesota Vikings explosive offense in the playoffs in the wild card round. But then they also showed that they can get it done by scoring. When they played Buffalo in week 14, they won a 44-42 game against the Buffalo Bills. So this back and forth of like, hey, we can score 10 and win 10-6. We can score 44 and we can, do whatever you need to do to win this game. They were 5-6 at one point. They've won 6 of their last 7. This is not only, Edward says like Jared Verse is like
balling.
Full up. He's full on like over that little like rookie wall kind of a thing and is playing unbelievably right now. Yep. Sean McVay, an experienced head coach that knows how to get it done in the playoffs, already 8 playoff wins in his coaching career. Matthew Stafford, a veteran quarterback that's won a Super Bowl recently with this team. There's a lot about the Rams that it's like, hey, they've been here before. They're confident. The moment's not going to be too big for them. And their defense is playing unreal. This could be one of those years, Austin, that we've seen in the past where the Rams are kind of giving me this vibe of a team that isn't supposed to like go to the Super Bowl, but just has the best defense playing on an unreal level.
Yeah, both times the New York Giants won the Super Bowl with Eli Manning, they were a wild card team.
Yeah.
Now the Rams are a division winner. What about this though, Sam?
They did give up 37 points to the Eagles when they played the Eagles in week 12.
And Saquon had like the 9th best rushing game in NFL history.
But I mean, Jalen Hurts, the concussion thing, he came out, did not look very good in the Eagles' first win over the Packers. The Eagles' defense looked very good. Jalen Hurts did not. The Eagles are not going to be able to play a sloppy offensive game against the Rams. They will eat you up if the Eagles are not playing their best football.
Thoughts on this? The Lions defense is literally put together by duct tape. The Commanders have confidence. I think that's it. I think this game can be closer than what the 9.5 is saying.
I think it's going to be, I don't know. No, I don't know. No? I don't know. Maybe that's just like a gut feeling, but I think the Lions are going to win at least one play. I mean, this would be, talk about a letdown, right? If all of the hype around the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, all this stuff, you come in, you lose your first playoff game. I don't see that necessarily happening. I think the Commanders are playing with house money a little bit. Like, they're fortunate just to be in the playoffs, let alone be winning games. They've gotten lucky maybe 5 different times this year. That's like, I mean,
look, how about, because Zach Garinger, I thought about this morning. 2 upsets this week: Rams, Commanders in the NFC Championship game, which would be in LA. How about that for a storyline?
I think I like Rams Lions, Matt Stafford against the Lions in the NFC Championship game.
But the whole going, like with the Fires back in LA for the NFC Championship game, that would be.
I think it's Chiefs against winner of Buffalo, Baltimore, which I think will be Buffalo, and Lions hosting the Rams.
Yeah, I'm nervous about the Eagles. I hope the Eagles get through this one, but we'll see. I took the over 55.5 Commanders Lions.
Over 55.5.
Yep.
I like that. Look, sometimes, and like I thought about doing that in the for a while before chat bullied me earlier. Yeah, that's right. You bullied me. Before the chat bullied me, I was planning on just betting the over in the Bills-Ravens game, which is at 51.5, but mainly because I want to watch it and root for points and just be like, let's go, Lamar and Josh.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Like,
Check the weather. Check the weather. It's going to be
yeah, that's what you
cold
said.
and
Check the
frozen
weather.
Sunday night in Buffalo.
Might be a fun under as well between
Yeah.
the Rams and the Eagles.
Which is also going to be cold and wet in Philly Sunday afternoon. Okay, time to get to Ain't That Good News. If you have good news, share it in the chat. We'll wrap up this week and send us to a big, huge football holiday weekend. Let's get it going. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. WilsonCountyHyundai.com in Lebanon. Right there. If you've got good news, share it. Sam, you're smiling. What are you giggling?
Oh, Nick just made me giggle. Let's see. The one factor. Do we need to bet on the Texans? Thinking that I read this as Amy Adams Strunk at first, but he's referring to Azeez Al-Shaair.
Oh.
If Azeez Al-Shaair puts out a hit on Patrick Mahomes when he slides and Azeez takes him out, could be a huge game changer for the Texans.
Yeah.
I hope that does not happen. It would be a wild storyline to the Azeez suspension over the course of the year thing if he takes out Pat. I mean, the league would kick him out of the league, though. You hit Caleb Williams, you hit Trevor Lawrence, you hit any of these other, you murder Tony Pollard out of bounds. You're good, Azeez. You're good, bro. You touch Patrick Mahomes in the offs, throw away the key.
Yeah, locked up. Good news to wrap up this week. Brad, good news. 76 pounds down in 5 months. Wife had successful foot surgery to fix a bunion. 7-year-old daughter having fun doing well in basketball. That's triple good news for Brad and his family. Good news coming in here. Jeff says good news. 3 sleeps away from Ohio State winning a national championship, and Vols can accept they lost to the champs. Look, man, what?
I gotta ask a question here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to root for in the national championship. This is kind of a nightmare national title for me. I usually root against Ohio State and kind of hate Ohio State. Illinois rival for sure. Part of me is like, go Big Ten. Let's show the SEC with back-to-back titles for both Michigan and Ohio State. I hate Notre Dame more than I hate Ohio State. Was raised on like, it's F Notre Dame all the time. So this, I mean, it's a bad one for me. It's like, you'd think I was a Michigan fan the way that I'm like torn. But then I also have the like, if Notre Dame wins, Northern Illinois, technically the national champs, just saying, beat Notre Dame. Or do I want Northern Illinois, like, do I want my NIU win over Notre Dame, all-time highlight of my college football fandom, to be overshadowed by the fact that they just go on to win the national title anyway? I don't know what to do. Thoughts?
I hope the game's close and entertaining.
I probably won't watch it. I'm gonna rebel.
Mike Peck, good news. My Buckeyes about to win a national title. Rashid just got hired for a second job. Let's see. Congrats, Rashid. You okay?
Yeah. I'm proud of Rashid.
Okay. Then I know the good news. Lucas says Traders is back. That's good news. I know that's where I was going to go with it. Traders is back. Spoiler. I don't know if there's anybody, you watched last night later.
I mean, we're spoiling. So, hey, chat.
Heads up.
You're a fan of the Traders and have not watched that.
Let's keep this to like 3 minutes max.
All right, or we can just try and do like kind of code word. The man did it again.
Yeah, but I'm worried about him.
Oh, I'm worried about him too, but I don't care.
I think he went too hard.
It doesn't matter. Like, he never has a shot anyway.
Yeah, I mean, clearly.
He doesn't have a shot anyway from what we already saw at a particular banishment. Like he's not going to win. But what he did yesterday was like, I mean, it was just a masterclass. It shows why you don't come at the king. You even hint at it with the king, and we'll see you later.
So Nick says, what is Traders? Traders is a great show. It's a great game concept. It's really fun to watch because the viewer gets to watch it from the bad guy perspective, which is a really interesting perspective to watch it. I think this year the cast is less annoying than last year's cast for me because the Bravo group from a year ago was very toxic. It's less toxic this time, which I think was a good adjustment. Because I understand the Bravo Peacock need for ratings and for all that. I get that. But they picked a less toxic group compared to last year's group.
Yeah, I mean, they get the casting really, really good. Like they do a really good job. And part of it helps, like they're pulling from a pool of reality stars and random celebrities that you, I guess, don't know have game, and then they show up and they've got game, and you're pretty consistently surprised. It's people that make excellent TV. So the season has been off to a riveting start. I've been a little upset. A couple of my favorites have been taken out way too early. The last murder that just happened.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Devastating.
You were sad last night about that.
I was really upset about that.
Yeah.
But then we got our fireworks back. So here, like, they do a good job of bringing in enough people that I really am like a fan of personally to be like, you know, I can pivot my rooting interest like kind of all across the board and have different people to support.
Yeah.
So
my good news, Traders is back and Traders is good. So if you have Peacock, go watch Traders. It's really fun. Alan Cummings is phenomenal. Like he is built for this. It's amazing. So, all right. You got anything else to add for good news? Or
that's pretty good news to me.
Yeah.
Like I have been, I've been getting into a new game that I'm going to recommend. Going to go ahead and put this out there into the world. So game called Blood on the Clock Tower. I don't know if it's a nerd thing. Not sure anybody in the chat would be super down for it. Nor would they.
No nerds in the chat.
Well, nor would they necessarily have time. It is definitely time consuming. Have you ever heard of Werewolf?
Oh yeah, I love
One Night Werewolf.
Yeah.
It is take One Night Werewolf, which is a complicated version of Mafia, and times it by about 50.
Which is also kind of similar to Traders. Like I explain Traders as werewolf-ish.
Traders is a simple version of Werewolf, yeah. Which is Mafia, basically.
Yeah.
Blood on the Clock Tower is basically Werewolf times 50, where there is a good team and a bad team, but it's played virtually or in person. But there is good team, bad team, the good team and bad team. Everybody has a role and a different function of what their character does. But then there are things like you can be drunk, you can be poisoned. So the information gathering roles might be getting bad information that poison the group against each other. And it's a very, very like complex, uber strategic, fun game. But I've been, getting into that a little bit, and I found a nice group of Survivor players to play with on Thursday nights. So late on Thursday night, I've been getting into that really very much, and yeah, really enjoying that. So that's good news for me. I'm having fun. Nice,
good deal. Well, next time we talk here on the morning show, will the Titans have a new GM? Stay tuned to that.
Blood, Jeff. Blood.
Make sure you hit that like button, like the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5-star Google review, all the good things. Salmon, Easton, and Buck will have content galore. A2Zsports.com/Titans. And we'll catch you guys Monday morning, Bucks, Sunday night for prime time. Hope you guys enjoy the playoff action and the holiday weekend with MLK Day on Monday. We will be live Monday morning, and we'll catch you guys then. Appreciate it as always.